Okie dokie. Good evening again. Where's this microphone at? How's that? Oh, it's loud. A bit further away, I think. Dun, 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 dun. Good evening, anyway. Right, so now that it's dried, so a bit of a. Let's just fucking bit more that way. Yeah. Some kind of dark shade. Might even try to get black into the crevices. Or something darker, at least, anyway. I don't want to use straight rattling because that will leave some part of it highlighted in theory. I don't want it highlighted, I want it dark. So what is going to be the best bet? Do I use straight black, like a grey black, brown even? No, it needs to be dark. Corvus black. Let's have a look at it. Right. Not even the same colour at all. Then. Where is my brown? Nope, that's not it. That's also not it. Oh, why can't I keep them easy to find? I mean, surely brown is stand out from the rest. Eh, is that brown? That is Rhinox hide. Let's have a look at the Rhinox hide. Ooh, that's nice. That would probably be a bit more in line with the rest of it. I reckon it could do with being a bit darker. Might put a pinch of black in with it just on this, mixed with a bit of rallying grime to thicken that out a bit. Possibly. See how another coat takes on this other grey. I definitely trying to get. I definitely need to try and get something in some of those crevices though, because they're lighter than the surface, and in theory, where it sat for longer, which would be inside those crevices, I think it'd be dirtier. Oh yes, I'm going to have to do that, or it's going to irritate the fuck out of me. Unfortunately, what we got brush wise? Um, yeah, I think it's gonna have to be across colors. Like it needs to be a bit of the rattling grime, but also something like a Rhinox as well. I need a reasonably thin brush for. Let's get some Rhinox on the. Yep, that's not what we're trying to do. Right. Let's see how this goes. Probably not well. So that's a bit of straight dark brown acrylic with rattling grinding contrast with no medium. Just getting in there, using that as the medium basically to thin it. Realistically, I should have put more on the brush or more on the palette because I don't really want to have to keep going back in. So I kind of screwed myself. Let me think about this. So I will just rest out there for a minute, very untidily. I will use the pipette. I'll do. Let's see what I can do with that before I try anything else. As long as it's thick enough and doesn't highlight too much, it should retain similar kind of color that I'm after. 'Cause it's the same base as what I did the majority of it with. I just need it to be a bit thicker. I probably put too much of that on that now. Oops, get up way. Let's have a look. Um, I'm gonna get rid of the surface level stuff. I honestly couldn't tell you if it's an improvement or not, to be honest with you. I think the problem is because there's still some bits in there that never got primer in the first place, so don't take paint very well. That kind of adds to the problem. So which one did I just paint? That one. So out of all of them, I can actually tell that that one's different. So that's a good start. I mean, if it doesn't work, I'll just do it in black and fuck it. It'll be what it is, or what it becomes. I think this should be alright. As long as I get it thick enough in there so it fills the actual gaps, which is what seems to be a bit of the problem. Even though, I put previous layers in extremely thick and had about as much effect as it seems to have had. Not much. So it's trying not to get too much bleed over. Although it might help it blend a bit better if I do bleed it over a bit. I mean, it's all supposed to be nasty, rusty shit, isn't it? So it doesn't really matter if it's messy. It's as long as it's full coverage, just so I can actually see the difference. Or if anything, just looks darker than the rest of it. That being the case, I may have to just go over it in black because this brown is a bit lighter, unfortunately. Kind of. Well, at the moment it is. I think using the rattling grime, it thinned it out nicely so the flow improves with it. And it still has an element of being thicker because of the Rhinox hide being a straight acrylic. But I don't think the color is going to be right for this. But again, I won't know properly until it dries, will I? Oops. A bit too wild there. That'll definitely stand out like hell then, won't it? Do-do-do-do. Right, where are we gone so far? There. Is that the last bit? Yeah, we did to about there. So it's that section. Okay. Okay. Oh, shit. Hmm. Okay. But the problem with it as well is also it's going to look a bit clean. It might have helped if I mixed a bit of the. I can still do that actually. We go a bit further as well and get a bit of the typhus corrosion into it. Where are we? So that'll add the debris and a bit of the similar colour. I might thicken it up a bit more as well. Yeah. It's pretty much mixed together, is it? Look at that, so mine for my liking, but whatever. But if I then put that nasty wash over it again, we're a bit on the damn thing, man. Really is quite difficult to tell what has and what hasn't been painted. Because it is not working the way I planned. It's the angle of the light does not help at all. It's also picking up on the metallic underneath to a point. Yeah, when it dries, it completely changes tone, like almost goes grey, kind of. Again, that is actually kind of the wrong color that I was going for, so I might still put a coat of that wash over it again. I don't think that'll change it too much. Fear of the dark. Probably not gonna have enough brown to do all of this, am I? You can't really tell. I mean, some bits look like they've had more paint than others, I suppose, at this point. I can see there's a moment in my future where I just have to concede defeat or do it all. I'd rather do it all. Let's see how it goes. If I get irritated enough by it, I'll probably stop. Go back to doing the side. I'm hoping that now that it's had a good coat and it's dried, the sides will take a bit better, but I'm not holding out all hope for that. I got a horrible feeling I'm not going to be able to get much more done on it without spraying it on. It just seems to be. Oh no, I think this might be one of the first prints I've actually had to paint. Yeah. I'm not having a good time with it so far. Not because there's something wrong with the print, not because I'm trying to paint it like it's just normal plastic. I mean, it is, but the way it's put together is not conducive to small, thin coats. It sucks out that paint like you would not believe. So many ridges and just absorbs the paint. Like, I have to wonder if it actually how far it runs. Like, is it completely sealed? Does it actually build up inside? Is there just like reservoirs of paint inside? Oh, it's super thick. I suppose the thicker I get on, the more chance it'll just be a good cone as well. It's not a complete acrylic, so it might sit like a little bit of a wash or a shade. Here's hoping. Now, obviously, I can barely tell where I've done already. That's obviously had no paint there. I'm just trying to get equal amounts of like the thinner bits that I've still got here and the thicker bits, so it still runs good, but then it's still got Really good pigmentation. It's not gonna start acting like too much of a contrast paint. Start giving me highlights. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. It's the bits of metal above, or bits of the print that are above. From something. Train of thought. You shall be missed. So I'm guessing I've done that middle bit already. I honestly can barely tell. So the only bits that kind of look light still are these two. The other four look like they've had a coat. Sorry. Skip these little bits. You can slowly start to see what has and hasn't been done actually, more and more as I do more bits. Do it again for the sake of it. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle. These three. Yeah, should be good. Maybe some of the dots. Hmm, I forget. Smaller brush to do these bits. Yeah, let's just do that last bit. On then. Oh, that's it. Message. What is the message? Okay. Oh, fucking pop-ups, go away. I'll deal with that in a bit. Day is it today? Tuesday. Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit better anyway. And then you put up at that angle, and all I can see is white bits. What fucking playlist has gone on here? This is not what I put on. Come on now, raining blood. Where'd you come from? Wait. Oh, I got it wrong. Or is it the other one? No, it is on, yeah. Get out. Yeah, now what? Yeah, what fucking playlist was that on then? Fuck me. Oh, I'll do. Complete contrast. I thought someone was a bit fishy about that playlist. So much. So much. Do. I don't think I'm going to get rid of all the random white bits, 'cause that's what the problem is. Yeah, these are the bits that are standing out miles away. If I could ignore them, I would. I know I'm not going to completely eradicate it, but I can have a go. Most of the rest have had a good coat now, I think. Right. I'm thinking about dry brushing as well, but it's like realistically, I've already done most of the edges with the typhus corrosion. So then dry brushing, like a highlight over rust and nasty wet shit is yeah, not a great idea. But let's get a fresh bit of tissue. Because we're probably gonna need it. Get rid of that. Where's the bin? Somewhere over there. Right, where are we looking? Mortarian's grime. Ooh, wait, not much of that left. Probably enough of this, eh? Evening, sir. How are we? Are we good? Are you good? You? Are you having a fabulous day, sir? Definitely look at that nasty shit. Just the way we like it. That worked out reasonably well. We got the thinner layers on. Standard Tuesday, might get to sit for 10 minutes and pay a little before midnight. Oh man. You like do different things, different nights kind of thing. I mean, like, because you're looking after the, or putting the kids to sleep or whatever, aren't you? What is it that you do? I'm sure you said that previously. I rarely do see you on Monday and Tuesday streaming, so I figured you're busy. Oh, that's much better. Oh yeah, there's a lot less of that glow now. Yeah, I can live with that. I can live with that. That's tolerable. Now the problem is that shit's going to be a pain in the ass. Well, I haven't put it on the sides. I really don't know how more grey is going to behave on that. That's so bad. Look at that on the angle. That's actually how it looks. It's so bad. Gymnastics and shopping. Wait, what? Is that the kids doing gymnastics or you doing gymnastics? No judgment. I think of that, and I just think what it says on your description on your stream, like the Baron Harkonnen we have at home. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm just thinking. I'm just imagining Baron Harkonnen doing gymnastics. Oh, fucking gold. Fuck's sakes. The simplest things, eh? Ooh. Right. No, I'm gonna. Well, I'm gonna wait for that to dry, and that could be all bloody night, couldn't it, at this point? So the amount of crap I put on it. So uniform grey. There we are. Maybe I should. I can't imagine it's any different using Citadel over this. It's not gonna stick more. You know what I mean? I mean, well, it might, but I'm hoping that previous coat will work like a whitewash. Really, I'm hoping, or maybe two, three coats down the line. Basically, if this coat doesn't work or doesn't take or whatever, then I'm just gonna have to mask the sides off and then just spray it on the weekend. I'm doing a half day Friday anyway, so I can get back and do some spraying again. It's too late. And do some more Saturday. Ooh, Gray's being a bit bunged up, are we? I have to try and clean that out at some point. Don't get bunged up, Gray. Okay, so we want a much bigger brush than that. You want to try stippling it on, or should we try? Maybe it's the brush. And if I go any smaller than that with a brush, it'll take fucking forever. Hmm. Yeah, we'll give it a go again. Still in a reasonably good state. Still kind of going on the same, really, isn't it? Still in the crevices. Let's smooth it off a bit. I mean, it's better coverage. It doesn't look as spotty, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, it actually looks like solid coverage, that bottom bit does now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the whole thing twice. So let's give me the best brush for this, or probably this one. Let's just see how it goes. And get whatever I can done with this. I can always to a smaller brush, so I'm not overcutting anything else too much, because I'm too wild with the old brush when I get going and lack consideration for other parts. I can actually do that. That's useful, that is, because I can just leave it like that and just paint it then, can't I? Because I have not actually painted the side bits of today. I can be lazy. I could actually, because I get a better shot of underneath there. Mm, Fortunately, it is going on pretty, or it looks pretty thick as it's going on, even if it necessarily isn't. I may switch to a better brush, or more accurately, a brush I've had better results with. I rarely use that brush. Not that there's anything wrong with it, I just don't use it very well. Maybe I need to pull the bristles a bit, and it'll suddenly start working for me. But where is the old monster brush? Come here, beauty. Monster brush. There we are. Come here, you bastard. It's a lot smaller and it'll take me a lot longer. Get the fucking. Oh, you cheeky bastard. There we go. Oh, yeah, I need to get some more already. More. Oh, too thin. Yeah. It's like fucking water now. Oh well. Well, let's get some more paint out then. At least you know this will be satisfactory though. Have a look at that bit. The bit, yeah. See, the bits I have done, it's a bit better coat, and it's still a bit thin on that middle bit. It's not perfect, and I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to stipple on highlights and lowlights and other lights, all kinds of lights. Let's have a look. Almost lighter again now, doing it with this brush. So, suppose the other bit was probably that light when I initially did it. Now, is it weirdly bubbly, or is it because I dried on the tissue? Or is it because it's too thin? It should definitely not be a lighter paint. Now you're having a laugh. Definitely used the right one, didn't I? Yeah, uniform. I had to just double check that. It's like something's not right here. That could potentially be because I actually brushed it in a different direction. Well, that seems right. Let's see what it looks like when it's dry. So I have more control of this brush. Why is this coming out so much lighter? It's weird. It's actually bothering me. Really wet. Oh, it might be actually because I did just kind of do it over what was there previously, which is a bit silly. So it could be because it's just too thin. That's why it's kind of bubbly. Not necessarily because of the tissue, because what done it over. Hmm. So those should be all done now. Let's do this bit. It's a reasonably good coat. See how many coats I need to put on to get completely smooth. Well, I'm not going to get a smooth finish, though, am I? I'll get it to a point I'm happy with, and then that'll be yes. Putting the nurgling to bed. Yeah, man, you crack on. I'll catch you in a bit. Nurgling. Like giggling around, giggling and farting and causing mischief. Well, now I'm thinking of Little Lords, aren't I? Are they the same thing? Hmm. More sure. Specifically, Little Lords are exactly Nurglings, or are they like a different, like a hierarchy of a different tier of Nurgling, if you will? Well, I definitely feel like I've got a bit more control with this brush. It's not making much difference to it. Again, a better coverage on the whole thing, all in all. So as long as it helps me put like the effect layers on and stuff, be tolerable. I won't need to spray it. That'll just slow me down because I'll just have to put this to the side and start something else. Oh, well, that's smoothly done. Oh, we got to fix it after. I'll fix it in post. Yeah, that's a much better coverage that side now. Like you compare it to that, look how patchy that shit is. It's still a little bit patchy, but that's a much better coverage on that coat. Yeah, I still would have preferred if I just sprayed it in the first place, though. So I've definitely learned for future times. Spray what you can on a print, or at least get a really good second coat of primer on, because one probably won't cut it. Well, it certainly did with this, and I thought it was a hell of a coat I put on. Like it was proper thick, it was. But apparently it wasn't good enough. So this will be the second coat all over of grey, basically. I kind of did two in a row. Like as it was nearly dry, I put a second coat on yesterday, I believe. Close to it anyway. Hard to gauge where you've actually been after a while. I think it's starting to get a bit thicker as well. Thin it too much 'cause it seems to get a bit lighter when I thin it. And again, that could just be perspective. And once it actually dries, it could look completely different, which is the one I did before then. Yeah, so as that's dried, it actually looks worse, a bit worse anyway. Oh well, let's get this next bit done then. See how that goes. Definitely stands out where you've been there. I can't decide if I want to paint it like in the grooves or if I want to go against the grooves. Don't know what's going to give me the better result. Painting the prints. Let's try and do it all the same way with the build layer and see how it looks compared to, say, the other way. Some bits haven't gone too well. I'll figure out where I have actually I haven't done. Yeah, so I can't decide which is better. Like the first bit I did down there, it seems to be smoother where I did it across and then at the end I came across it, if you will. It seems pretty patchy still. And again, I think the paint's getting a bit too thick. But I've got to be careful about thinning it because it'll be too thin. Try and get it just right. I think I got it just right. That is a good flow. Damn, that's a good flow. Will help. If it's not being thick and actually flowing nicely, it might be a bit better. Is hoping. Yeah, so half day Friday, do some spraying. I'll probably save the rest of the printed stuff I've got and do that then. Because now that I know that it definitely needs at least another full coat of primer, we can really work on it properly. Well, from my experience with this, it needs a good 2 coats of primer minimum. and you realistically want to be spraying on them because yeah, acrylics ain't great. But that could just be down to the shit coat of primer. Well, supposedly shit coat of primer. I mean, it's two solid coats. I'm not sure how it's a shit coat of primer, but whatever. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it's not fully dry yet. I don't want to tip that upside down, do I? Which means I just do this bit, yeah. Right, you can tell I've thinned it too much because it's not covering that anymore. Oh, that bit's still a bit thicker. Right away, going over the edges there, and it's a bit more now. Almost out again. I do like that. I can lean it like that. Get the brush clean. Yeah, I'm really not particularly happy with that. That first one's better. I'm trying to figure out what I did differently because that first one is much better than the second one. Maybe the paint was thicker, or maybe it's too thick there and it was thinner there. That would make sense. Yeah, I've got to remember to do these bits. I'll try and do those after, so I can just try and blast out the walls, get it thin enough at least anyway. Bit of coffee. Ah, yeah, yeah. Just take a couple of minutes. Yeah, bloody thing. Right. Now that's dried, you can get a good look at it. You see the kind of green stain from the Mortarian's grime over it. Now, most of the crevices are dark and not reflective. Yay, I can live with that. I'm not going to try and look too hard because I'll probably find a bit. Well, it's a bit damp in places, so it's still a bit glossy because of that. Hopefully, it'll get a bit more matte when it fully dries. I do still have effects I haven't used yet. I don't think mud is relevant. Like if I could get like a gritty kind of dust, It's not necessarily going to be a sandy terrain. It's like rocky mountain sort of passes, so it'll be kind of like a stone dust. Hmm. Bit of gravel maybe, like very thin dusting of it. Super thin dusting. Not even like the entire thing. It'd just be like random places, perhaps. Yeah, I think I'm overdoing it because if I'm going to do it there, I'm going to have to do it on all of them. That's yeah, no, that's making work for myself, and I can't even get the paint to stick on the side on one bloody thing. Overdoing it. Um, yeah, I wasn't happy with that metal when that went on either. That was a horrible coat, but it looks like it's evened out pretty good. It looks really deceptive. Because of the flight rivets in it, I guess you could say. It looked different at different angles constantly. Like for that, most of that looks good, but there's still angles where it looks pretty nasty. But the majority of it is good. Better than that. That middle section's piss poor. I think I really would have been better spraying it again. Mm. What have I got? I got those 6 bendable bridges to do it. I'll do those with spray. Right, if I can just get all the base colors on, because like um the rattling grind wash, I'll do that anyway, and that will go on, and it'll look like that anyway. You know what I mean? So it's just the stuff underneath that needs to be at least one more coat of primer, reasonable coat. It doesn't have to be overly thick. The second one, just so because I have got some metallics as well. So if you just do the metal bits in metallic via the spray. But any buildings, I suppose I could do with the spray as well because I've got this grey in the air. I know I can use normal acrylics, but it saves me having to blow through loads of a thinner. Yeah, I know you could use water, but it's not as good for me at least. I need every bit of help I can with the stuff. Uh, I'm bad enough at thinning my shit as it is. Last thing I want to do is be clogging up the airbrush every single fucking tank. I have enough trouble with that. I might have to send my which one is this? Is it the evolution? I can never remember which one. Which one is it? It is the. I might have to send that one back. I'll get it checked out. Which one is it? I can't see. I can't read it on the. Anyway, yeah, no, I tried plugging it in to use that last time I was doing some airbrushing, and it thinks one of the sealants in the middle's gone because it's just I can hear the air coming out the side of it. And it's just like, oh man, I literally never used it. So hopefully I can just send that back and either get them to fix it or replace it because it's never been used. At least I don't think I used it. Maybe initially once. Damn it. If that's the case, I'm fucked. It's probably me that's done it then. Especially if I used it early on when I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But the old fucking ultras working out nicely. Funny because initially I was uh, having better results with the real shitty cheap one, and for whatever reason, it's just stopped working very well. Like I've cleared it all out. There's nothing blocking it. There's nothing interfering with any part of the process at all. But yeah, no, it just doesn't compare. It's a much better spray on the pardon me, on the ultra. That's funny because I find I rarely use the pre-done collections on it. So it doesn't give enough I have to really hammer it when I'm priming, it feels like. So I think it may be more paint with a bigger brush, but then I feel like it'll be going on a bit too thick. Like that coverage is all right. Like that really is good. At certain angles, that looks completely smooth. And then you can, I think that's where it's gone better is because I've actually filled the gaps in. You can see the build layers still. Or feel them. So maybe a bigger brush. Um, try that again. I think that door needs to be metal all the way up to that outer frame bit there, all the way around. So I probably need to go and do the inside of there. It's not a problem. I've actually got a bit of that nasty wash mix left. I could just put it over the door now. The door wouldn't have much or any of that. It would just have a wash, wouldn't it, really? Like a bit of a slight grime wash. Because that's like that because it's open to the elements and it's just perpetually rained on and other things. That's why that's nasty and rusted. Old, worn metal. That's what it's supposed to be, anyway. You can kind of see a bit of the discoloration at certain angles. But obviously, like usual, like everything else, I won't go too far with it. It might be worth me just going around again and putting a bit of a sponging of the typhus on, just on top of it all, so it stands out a bit more. Anyway, back to it. It's not going to paint itself, is it? Much as I might like it to. Do you want to try a bigger brush? I might actually try wherever it is. It seems to have vanished somewhere. Um, where's that brush gone? Doesn't seem to be there anymore. Ah, there it is. How did I miss that? Roger Waters, you suck. Go away. You're missing the rest of your band, mate. A bit more grey going. Say a bit more, load more. We're gonna bring a brush. Probably not the right brush for it, but let's have a crack. So that's the one. Ah, come back. So that's the one we've just done, which is so-so. So let's do this one. Wow, these bristles are a lot stiffer than they should be. I mean, obviously it's faster, but, but is it better? Um, so if it's an improvement or not. I know it's definitely on there thicker anyway. It's surely a better coat, so these bristles are very fucking thick. I'll probably be better with a different brush. Yeah, it's not really working. I can feel it's getting really thicker on the brush. I mean, it is working, but at the same time, oh, fuck off. Not gonna work for long. I can switch brushes. To be fair, I'd probably be better off with the actual basing brush. Bristles will be softer. This is probably better for washes or contrast paints, or bristles just need softening. Get it set in some white spirit for a bit. Let's say a bit softer now. A little bit. It's a little bit too bristly. I would brush again. It's better for like getting into places because got the well, it's got the slight angle to it, so it's like more convenient. Yeah, sure, it will be faster this way. As to the quality of the coverage, we will find out. Oh, I went really over there, didn't I? Well, I think I've gone all the way around. I'll do the inside of these to the best of my ability. Do them all nice. I know I've done them at least one. Let's check it off in my mind, if you will. Right. Now we're looking. Done that, done that, done that. Oh, oops. I didn't think I'd use it all, but I have. So I have to get some more ready. As we burning through this uniform grey. The thickest ghost that ever thickened. The that is now. So we'll get to a point where any pattern is just irrelevant. That's a nice thick coat there. Should be a bit better now. That was one of the worst ones. I'm getting really far over the edge now, aren't I? Better coverage there. Considering how patchy it was initially, there's a little bit there, isn't there? Best way I can tell, get seeing how it is tilting it. There's a little bit to the right hand side there, but I think it's because I just did a little bit and only on the left. So it's probably just slightly mismatched. There's a bit underneath one I could do a little bit to even it out a bit. Oh, I haven't done any down there. That's why it looks off. Oops. Okay, we can work with it. Hopefully. I mean, I'll try stippling, but I don't hold out much hope. So it's well, that's well, first of all, do we want to do? No, we don't. Do. Water evaporates this really fast. Do. Right, so what colour did I want again? Metal. Lead belcher. Now, one of these is empty. I think I got the right one. First time, every time. Yeah, right. Um, did I actually get the shit one out? Hold on. I'm not gonna be impressed if I did. No. Oh wow. Oh, well, I guess more of that color as well then. Oh fuck. Yeah, I really should write a list, shouldn't I? Or alternatively, I could just try and remember. Did that remember that list? I see those bits well that way. But I'm pretty sure you can see them a bit better if you go this way, yeah? It's a really awkward spot to get to and still see this paint on it. Let's get a bit more paint on, shall we? That went really far. So if it's dried enough, yeah, fuck it. Mm, no comment. Very nicely. In the metal, around the light. I mean, we'll do those as metal plates. No, let's not do those as metal plates. 'Cause do you know what I haven't done yet? All the fucking blending. There's no point even probably doing that metal door. Unless I mask that as well. Yeah, time wise. No, that's not bad. There's a slightly better coat this time. I'm still having trouble getting the layers up on the print. It's not ideal, but yeah, you can see. Yeah, there you go. If you get close enough, you can see the layers. More so on that one than some of the other ones, I think. Well, yeah, they, that's why it's so difficult to get really good coverage. I bet if you use the fucking spray, you get perfect coverage. What I could have done with something a bit self-leveling. That's what I've had with like glazes in the past. Like when I've used contrast medium just with a bit of acrylic, no water, it almost makes it somewhat self-leveling. Like if I did that on a flat surface and put it on slightly thicker than painting thickness, like it might just fill all those crevices in. It'd be the equivalent of like plastering a wall kind of thing. That's an experience I've had with using medium with paint just as well, do that with it. Not even like a lot, so it glazes it just like one part. You know what I mean? Weird. And I've had weird experiences where it just kind of makes it somewhat self-leveling, and then it just completely smooth coverage, just like completely flat, like pristine coverage of its own accord, kind of thing. It kind of negates whatever state you brush it on and sort of pools a bit more, but not enough to, like you'd want with like a watt or something to sort of pull into like the recesses or the have gravity pull it down. It kind of just moves enough to fill its own spaces and then stop. It's really good. It just doesn't keep going. It could also be an element of drying quickly. Maybe it's just the environment as well, because I find it's quite dry in this fucking room. Like the water in the water palace like dries out so fast. Yeah, I don't know how thick I'm gonna have to go on with the lighter shade now. Like, I don't really want to just paint it straight on because that's not gonna be any good. So we'll give it a go. I'll probably have to go with the better brush, so I've got a bit more control over the actual quality of what I'm doing. This is where my plan gets destroyed. Stippling is fucking painful. Do I want to wear a glove for this? No, we're just going to see if it works. So the lighter shade would be the ash gray. I do want to get this or the equivalent in a an airbrush. I've got a shitload of grays, but no actual equivalent of this. So the Cadre grey is just too blue. I don't think it's the same one. Get a good mix on it. Let's see. No, I guess it's. Oh, no, it's like slightly light shade with a bit of blue in it, isn't it? It's not exactly the same. I think that's the closest one out of the other options, isn't it? After that, they get a lot lighter. Yeah, I know. So realistically, we'll go with the ash grey. We'll have a go. Don't need too much because it's probably not going to work anyway. You don't need to really thin it out much because it's going to go straight on. So really, I'd be fine just taking it straight from the brush. The pot even, sorry. Oh no, because it's not a pot, so I can't do that with this. Wayish we want to go to. Keep working, we don't want to get any little bit build up too much. You can kind of see it now, though. It wasn't even taken this well before. Should we go? Certainly better anyway. As long as I can get a distinct blend that looks reasonably natural. It's like wear or what have you, environmental, or just because of the sunlight, even whatever the reason being. Even sort of cover, that'll do me. And I believe the last thing to do, tippling an absolute neck of the shit out of my arm. So what I'll probably get a bit more on go again, just so it's a better blend. So you do the lighter shade about bottom half or 2/3 ish. Probably 2/3 probably your best bet. Maybe to that bar actually. I might aim for that bar all around the top of that bit, just over it, then get a bit of a 1-1 blend of the two colours, and then do a bit in between kind of like it's hard the motion to get. It's like kind of like circling kind of motion. It's not a standard sort of dry brush technique or anything like that, but trying to bring both sides together a bit, kind of while putting its own color in the middle of it. So it's better if you can do all this when it's a little bit wet, but the nature of what you're doing means the paint's a bit drier because you're not actually dry brushing because you want it a bit wet and you want it a bit thicker, but you're still kind of following those sort of principles. Mm. Spread it around a bit before I settle to, but I don't want it to dry too much because then, yeah, some bits are a bit fucking thicker than others. That's the problem. So unless you get it before it gets too dry, or even it out a bit more with more in a similar sort of place, that's when you've kind of lost control over it a bit. And you've gone too far. Get off, you bastard fucking hairs. It's like, fuck. Slowly build it up. Get that blend going a bit more in the middle here. Obviously, you've seen the final product before, so it does look good when you get it right. And like, yeah, you could do the whole thing pretty fast with an airbrush, but I'll have to wait for Friday to do that. I can do that on some of the other pieces. Mm. Well, that's not bad. Get like a mid blend in the middle then. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with the top, with the darker in between the gaps. It's less. You can still see the different shades, like greeny sort of browns here and there. You can get the right light on it, so it's not overly uniform. But I am gonna fix the edges there, aren't I? Where I've gone over. What do you reckon? Like typhus? Will that be enough to go over it? Dark enough? Maybe. Do it with a sponge. Get a bit of typhus again and a bit of rattling grime on the sponge. Should do it after. Do that at the end once I've done all I want to do with the side. Yeah, I do like that. As you can see, it's slowly taking a bit more shape. Like do a little bit more, and then we'll pull it probably. Time we get, oh, we got a little bit more time. Doing it this way, it's inconsistent. It's not a perfect blend. There's bits you've missed. You know what I mean? Like it's this way, it's a bit more like it actually sort of naturally occurred as opposed to being painted. Like I find if you did it with an airbrush, sometimes it can be too uniform, especially if you're doing like zenith or stuff you normally attribute to like sun or certain bits being in the light for longer because the sun will just take damage paint, you know that shit. So sometimes you look at that and think like that's not right. It's too uniform. Yeah, and obviously then in some cases it is just purely zenithal highlighting. It's not actually got purpose behind it necessarily. It just is. I suppose in some cases it's just the way you're told to do most things as well, as far as painting goes. Not usually given a reason why you would be doing a certain thing, just this is how you do a certain thing. The how, not necessarily the why. It may be an unconventional why, a why you don't expect. We get that nice and smooth. Now that is looking a lot better. So a bit of both in the middle there, very finely. Sort of do a cross sort of like to get the blend away. Bit less of an obvious line between the colours. That's coming along nicely, actually. Now, to be fair, I'm happy with that. And it's good because with the light that's currently on it, where it actually sits, it's just above where the blend starts as well. So you can generally see. Obviously, you can't see from that angle, but where the shade stops from the lip of the thing, it's kind of where that just where the blend starts to happen. So once I actually get the mid color there, it'll be much nicer. I keep going, still getting a bit more. There's always a little bit left on the old brush. So yeah, we'll do this. Get this colour down all the way around at that level. Try and get these bits done as well. Then we'll try and do the mid bit, get a reasonable blend at least. I might potentially even take it a bit darker, right at the top, possibly. I don't think I do have darker shades of grey. I could just use the Eshin. I don't think Eshin's, what's that like compared to Mechanica Standard? That's actually darker, so I can go Mechanica Standard. So what's that compared to as uniform? It's about the same. That's maybe just slightly darker. Well, if it's about the same, then we can always go with the Eshin. So I might put a tiny bit of that up at the top bit there. Just we can get that in there. Little add more dimension to it. When you looked at like so, from that angle, you then have the high tone, and the sort of one blend, and for the slightly darker one, then up the top of the crevice, and have the darker one again. And then we will dry brush on all the highest points with company grey, and maybe on the very, very highest points, probably these bits then as well. I'll just do like a bit of maybe a very fine bit of brilliant bold titanium with it pop, bit of wash on there, grimy wash. So probably what's the brownie sort of one, Agrat shade. So we'll get a bit of that. So it's more of an oily wash. Same with these to be done metal as well. So I'll do the piping and those at the same time. Same with those pipes there. Ah, same on this side. Everything else can just go stone. Then, once all those layers are done, we will do the sponging of the German grey on again. All the edges and various bits for paint chipping. So let me just find one I did earlier, because it'll be the sort of consistent scheme I'm aiming for with all of them. Because the map's grey stone mountain, so I'm aiming to do grey stone mountain with all of it, basically. Oops, camera. There's a bit less of blend on that, but sort of paint chipping stuff. You can kind of see it a bit, sort of stepped here to it. Like my trial one of like the sort of metal. That's why it's so clean comparatively. I think that was without typhus corrosion. I think that was just with the other one. Then obviously it sort of progressed to full rusted metal. Like unlike this one, I didn't go down this one and do the edges. So that's something for me to look forward to going back and doing, because now that I can see that, I can't unsee it. But that one looks a bit more of a rusty sort of finish, because there's, yeah, that's not quite the same. Probably because there's so many layers of the actual wash on that one, when there's probably only one layer of the wash on this one. It definitely looks a bit better color wise, like the mottled sort of colors. Yeah. A bit lighter on the chipping this one. Oh, no, that side isn't. Yeah, that's what we're aiming for anyway. It's getting humid up here now. think that's good enough for me. We're on 50. I got a couple of minutes. Let's just fucking ride it out. Right. Only one. Wow. That felt very painful on my neck. Wow. Right. So tomorrow I'm playing a game. I have no idea what it is. Mm. I'll go in blind for that one. Unless I'm quiet at work tomorrow, then I'll try and read the rules or whatever. I found to overwrite too much information. I need to keep as much of my RAM free as possible. Shatterpoint. Yeah, I like that you can tell now. Because when I was trying to pull that on previously, it was, yeah, no, it was just not having it. It's not great now, don't get me wrong. Like, I could really go over that again. I don't want to make too much of a distinction between them. But that's kind of like if I was spraying it, it'd be from that, like that. So, so I'd catch those sort of bits roughly where I'm actually going up to. It's where I'd catch with the higher sort of colors anyway, but the blend just wouldn't be great. I don't think it'd be anyway. But that's just me. I'm just difficult. It's funny because then, yeah, I've looked at other ones and everybody else just looks great, but I'm just looking at them thinking mine just wouldn't be. That doesn't look even. That's not even, is it? Looking from this angle, that's gonna bug the fuck out of me. I'll have to even that out when I do the medium. Yeah. Oh, I know, I'm quite happy though with how that turned out. I'm glad the second coat kind of worked. It certainly thickened it all out. And, okay, don't look at that bit. But the actual grey though looks like consistent. Like it doesn't look nasty at certain. If I can get it to focus, there we go. There we go. Oh, so that's the side we're working on. There's very certain angles you can kind of see a little bit. Yeah, very faintly. It looks a bit nasty there, but well, that side, unfortunately, I can see where it's gone really thick and then where it's really thin. I don't think that prime took particularly well on that side. Right. It's funny because I can actually see all the questionable bits by eye on this. Yeah, you can kind of see them. Most of it is on the bottom, which I'm going to be going over anyway, so that works out kind of all right. Yeah. Over there on the right. Yeah. How about the front door? That metal looks alright, doesn't it? It's an interesting effect it has on metallics. The waves on the cross section. Hmm. Obviously, the slight dips and well, I guess you call it valleys and hills and troughs, whichever way around. But yeah, so that with a metallic catches the light in a particular way. It's actually kind of interesting how that effect works. I don't like it. Interesting. It's a curious thing. I do like that. Yeah. I'm glad that brown mix worked. Yeah, it's much better. I'm probably gonna have to go back and do the ones on the other bits though, because they're gonna be clear ones. Yeah, I definitely need to fix that better. Is there any coffee left? Yay. Oh, what the fuck is that? Get out of my cup, random shit. Ah, right then. I can see it in chat shit for hours. Yeah, I really am annoyed at how messy that side bit has got. Hopefully I can fix it with just a bit of a sponge. Let's see. I'm really glad that's taken better. It's not great, but it's better. Yeah. All right, cool. Fuck it. Have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will catch you Thursday night. I don't know if I'll stream spraying on Thursday, Friday, because I'm not keen on having the laptop on the intake with that shit in the air because yeah, it's not gonna be great for her, is it? Well, that's not ideal, so I'll probably not do that. Definitely do it less anyway. I'll keep the screen down on it as well. Actually, whether that'll fit, I don't know, but we'll see. I need to ventilate it a little bit better in here. Anyway, chat and shit again. Do I need to clean that? Oh, that's a bit better. Give it a bit of a clean, haven't I? I got most of the paint off, to be fair. Though. Nowhere near enough. Right, dampening pad. Still got a good bit of shit in it. Well, right, I'll leave you to it. I don't need to stream me cleaning my fortunately fucked brush. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get some more of these because I have unfortunately destroyed them. Right, cool. Have a good one, and I'll catch you soon. Thursday, more than likely. See you soon.